There's just something special about Minecraft's Dripstone caves converted into Lego. The Dripstone module that we added back in 2022 remains my favorite cave in the series. The build just has some of my favorite techniques, like the classic rail design through the mineshaft, chains suspending it all from the ceiling, the Dripstone stalactites and stalagmites, and a bunch of precious ores in the cave walls. And since I added a corridor continuing on to the far right of the module, it was always my intention to expand on this part of the display, and today we're going to make that happen. So hey, let's get to building. Today's build will serve as a corner module, much like the Amethyst Geode. It'll be the same size as well, 16 by 16 studs or 8 by 8 Minecraft blocks. Before we start the build though, I want to talk about the plan for the underground modules, as I get a lot of questions about it in the comments. At this point, you've probably seen all the overworld biomes connected together, whereas the underground builds have always been showcased separately. But I can assure you they definitely still are going to be part of the finished display though. There will indeed be an underground layer beneath all the overworld modules, or at least the outer ring, and that ring is what we've been working on building in these underground episodes. The ocean will go beneath the Mushroom Island, the amethyst will go beneath the savannah, the ravine will go beneath, well, the ravine, and these two dripstone modules will go in the back right corner beneath the ice spikes and the snowy taiga. As for the center of the ring, it's likely either going to be foam or some sort of small wooden table that supports the rest of the world. Filling that with solid Lego brick would be a bit too expensive and probably wouldn't even work all that well anyway. With this design, the underground will only be able to be installed once it's all complete, but that will be a pretty glorious day when it is. I do believe it's really going to take the Minecraft world to the next level. But anyway, let's get back to the build. We'll be using a lot of the same techniques from the first Dripstone cave build. The amount of detail in these caves is definitely their biggest appeal to me, and adding a mineshaft through it all just enhances it even more. The secret ingredient to the Lego Dripstone caves is really the masonry bricks, specifically the back side of it. It helps add some texture to the dripstone blocks and also recreates the wooden plank texture perfectly. In a Lego build where everything is very squared off and blocky, adding a little texture like this goes a really long way. The little pockets of bright blue water are another one of my favorite details in the dripstone caves. And because Lego does produce a 2x2 transparent blue jumper, we can even have some stalagmites sticking up through the water, which I think is really fun. It's great to see Lego continue to produce more and more pieces in these transparent colors. Don't blink or you're gonna miss this episode's tiling. Yeah, that's all I've got. A nice and easy one this time around. The next step is gonna be a bit more interesting. That's adding all the stalagmites. They're made up of a variety of 1x1 pyramid pieces and cheese slopes, just like the previous Dripstone Caves module. Despite my attempts to purchase 1x1 pyramids for all of these, it turns out that you guys thought the mixture was a better fit, and I think you're probably right, it just adds more variety. But I still want to give a huge shout out to Builds by Matt, who was willing to put in $20 to the Dripstone Fund almost 2 years ago. Your efforts have not been forgotten, and that money has not been put to waste. For this section of the mines, I'm trying to recreate the vertical mineshaft portion. It's the part of the mineshaft that allows you to go up and down between layers. To make sure that it scales better with minifigures, I am enlarging it ever so slightly, just like the rest of the mineshafts that we've done underground. Instead of a 3x3 format, this is going to be built in a 4x4 block format. It was really important to me to get that plank texture absolutely everywhere that I could, so I built this whole assembly on its side. And even on the ends, you'll notice that I'm using 1x2 tiles to try and recreate some of that texture yet again. I'm actually all out of medium nougat inverted 2x2 tiles anyway, so I couldn't even cheap out on you if I wanted to. I also noticed a few days ago that I was even out of 2x2 dark bluish gray tiles, but thankfully I was able to get this order in time. Let's see if I can get it out of the package though. There we go. And I also ordered a few extra 2x2 dark tan tiles too. That's gotta be one of my smallest bricklink orders ever. Hopefully I'll be getting some more 2x2 dark bluish gray tiles from Pick-a-Brick in the near future, and there should be a lot in there. Enough to carry me through at least a few more underground modules. I've added a few exposed studs, one to attach a cave spider, and then another to attach a player. This is a skin exclusive to the Frog House set. Everything lines up really nicely with the previous module, and all the details are starting to come together. We just need to create the roof of this thing. As I build up the sidewalls, I'm making a really strong effort to add a lot more ores and things too. I think that's something that I've missed out on a lot of the previous underground modules. I've even got some andesite down there in the bottom right corner as well. The next layer of the mineshaft is made exactly the same as the one beneath it, all sideways construction making use of the backside of the masonry bricks. I'm tiling everything off here at this point because, much like the previous Dripstone module, we're going to make the ceiling completely upside down. For the ceiling stalactites, I am going to need more of those pyramid pieces, and thankfully I know just where to look. This awesome poly bag was released a few years ago and includes all sorts of awesome elements, including 3 of those dark tan pyramid pieces. I built the ceiling up in 3 layers, and it's all going to be held in place by those support beams that we attached earlier. That should stop it from moving around too much. It's not actually going to be studded down in any way beyond that. But once there's a module set on top of this, it's definitely not going anywhere. We'll add in a bunch of stalactites. As far as I'm concerned, the more of these guys, the merrier. It's just the perfect opportunity to make this small little module feel as detailed as possible. And once all those are added in, we can flip the whole thing upside down and place it on top. Just a little bit of planning makes for a very satisfactory conclusion to this build. So there you go. There's our little Dripstone mineshaft expansion. I really like this one and how it pairs with the more horizontal previous module. It all just flows together so nicely, and I'm excited to see these in context within the rest of the larger world. But we've got some more modules to do before that can happen. Like, for instance, the next episode, which will be the long-awaited coral reef. After an extraordinarily busy summer, I finally had time to sit down and build a proper massive module. The coral reef actually is, by piece count, the largest addition to the display to date, and it's going to finish off the front row of underground modules for the first time. Hundreds of channel members have already been able to watch this episode early, and you can too by supporting the channel and clicking the join button down below. You get early access to all the LEGO Minecraft episodes at least 1 month in advance. It's just my small way of saying thank you, because without them, this series literally just could not exist. That is all that I've got for this time though. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great life, and I'll see you later.